Hello, my name is Cameron Rowe, and this is my presentation for my final capstone project for Journalism 5581. My project was over voting in Texas. I wanted to look at voting in Texas and specifically the wait times that were associated with different counties, and I also wanted to look at generational voter turnout and how early voting looked in Texas. What I chose to conduct my own survey through Qualoradics on recommendation from Dr. Hamilton. It ended up being an incredibly helpful website for me through the entire project. It helped me a lot with my actual data analysis and being able to break down all of my data in one place. It helped me stay organized through the project. I had a total response of 500 people, with 489 of them being usable data after cleaning. I had 10 people answer county as country, so I had to get rid of that because without the county I wouldn't be able to determine any of the other data that I needed. And then one of them was taken out because the county that they voted in was outside of the state of Texas, so it was unusable data for me. The survey was shared through my personal Facebook and the groups that I'm in on Facebook, and also my Instagram and Twitter. For my results, I found that there was no significant correlation between the county that the ballot was cast and the amount of time that it took to vote. I'm actually kind of shocked about this one just for how big of an issue it seemed to be in the weeks leading up to voting. There was a lot of talk about Texans having to wait a longer time to vote and that our polling locations were closing and all of those things, and that's what sparked my interest in doing a project over this was that. So it was actually very shocking that I didn't find a significant correlation between the county that you voted in and how long it took you to vote. In this election cycle, Texas saw more early voters this year than the total number of people who voted in Texas in 2016 for the presidential election. That's also very surprising to me. I did not expect that many people to turn out for early voting. I believe the final number is 9.7 million people, or 57.3% of registered voters in Texas chose to vote early. That's an incredible turnout. That's more people this in early voting than at all in 2016. And then overall, millennials and Generation Z had the highest voter turnout across the generation. If we come over here into my Word document, you can see, where did it go? Here we are. You can see that my data also said that Texans were going to vote early at 96.3%. And then in this middle graph right here, this is from the New York Times and their survey they conducted. They also found that Texans were going to vote early at 49%. And then in my main comparison that I was using is from the Texas Tribune, and it's this yellow graph right here. And there's those numbers up at the top underneath the title, where 9.7 million people, or 57.3% of registered voters, cast their ballot in early voting from October 13th to October 30th. Scrolling down a little bit, here's the generational data. This top graph right here is my data that shows me that millennials were my top voters at 40.9%, and followed by Gen Z at 28.4%. This next graph is from the New York Times survey, and they broke up their demographic a little bit different than I did, but it's still Generation Z and the millennial generation were the top two voter turnouts. Overall, I really enjoyed this project. I almost wish that we had done a full 16 weeks for this capstone just to see how deep we could actually get into all of our analysis. But overall, I really enjoyed this class and what we got to do and the things that I was able to absorb. Thanks for a great year and a half, Dr. Hamilton. I really appreciate it. Bye.